shot off across the prairie was not for everybody. It definitely was not Wesley's idea of a great way to start his day. But for most cowboys, it was the norm, and an important part of the job they cherished. With another groan of protest, Wesley propelled himself out of bed and padded barefoot into the bathroom. A pair of tired brown eyes stared back as he gazed at his reflection in the mirror. He brushed his teeth, and then fingered his neat goatee before jumping into the shower. 15 minutes later, he was dressed in a pair of faded denims, a crisp plaid shirt, and cowboy boots. Wesley headed out to the main house, where his parents and grandfather lived. He was on his way to join the rest of the family for breakfast. Wesley and his siblings, Jameson and Laney, often had their meals in the main house, although they all lived on the ranch. His parents, Stephen and Gwendolyn, flourished in their 34 years of marriage, despite town gossip that theirs was an arranged marriage, a merger between two wealthy families. Even though his parents had an unconventional courtship and marriage, they truly loved and respected one another. They shared something he had never experienced with most of the women he dated: complete and total honesty. There was always some hidden agenda. His mother's family, the Webbs, had made its fortune breeding rare stallions. When the two families were joined, Stephen and Gwendolyn Webb Broward became the two largest landowners in the state. Wesley reasoned that his parents' marriage was so successful because Gwendolyn was wealthy in her own right. She and Stephen were equals. Just as Wesley entered through the front door of his parents' home, he heard a familiar voice holler, "Come and get it!" Amused, Wesley broke into a grin as he quickly made his way to the dining room. The cook, Rusty, had been whipping up meals for cowboys for nearly 20 years. Rusty recently celebrated his 4th year with the Broward family. His culinary skills were in high demand, and Wesley was grateful that the 60-something-year-old man had decided to work for his family. "Morning, y'all," Wesley greeted as he sat down across from his sister, Laney. "Good morning, dear," his mother responded with a warm smile. "Rusty made all your favorites this morning." Wesley grinned. "It's a good thing I brought my appetite." He picked up a plate and loaded it with Rusty's famous sausage, egg, and cheese casserole, 3 slices of bacon, assorted fruit, and a biscuit. "Laney and I are driving into town later this afternoon," Gwendolyn announced as she reached for her water glass. "We need to pick up our dresses for tomorrow night's gala. Have you boys picked up your tuxedos yet?" She took a sip of ice water. "I brought mine home last Saturday," Jameson announced as he slathered butter on a biscuit. "I'll grab my tux and Dad's later this afternoon," Wesley stated. "Grandpa said that he's wearing the same one he bought last year." His gaze traveled to where Charles Broward sat, on one end of the table, while his son, Wesley's father, sat at the head. "I sure am," Charles confirmed. "It's clean, looks good as new. I'm not spending money on another tux. Y'all can bury me in it as far as I'm concerned. I intend to get my money's worth." Wesley laughed as he helped himself to another biscuit. He loved his grandfather's sense of humor and his zest for life. At the age of 84, Charles Broward was still in good health and enjoyed running cattle every now and then. "Mama, I hope you can maneuver around all of the tourists," Jameson said. "Granger's not been the same since Laney brought home that gold medal." Wesley felt a thread of pride snake down his spine at the mention of his sister's name. Laney was skilled in 3-day eventing, a grueling sport that combined the disciplines of dressage, show jumping, and cross-country, which recently earned her a gold medal in the Summer Olympic Games. "I think it's a good thing," Gwendolyn responded. "Tourism has certainly picked up." Wesley agreed. More and more visitors were flocking to the town every day, including celebrities, although some said that the town was a mile from heaven.